You are not a superhero for yourself. You are a superhero of others. The Birkenhead drill, heart, sacrifice, courage. These are not things you do for glory. These are things you do to serve. Serve who? Others. You are a superhero for others. You must always place the needs of others above yourself. It's a difficult thing to grasp when you're a child. First team made funny faces at being labeled children. Yeah, it sounds like I'm being demeaning when I say that, but I'm not. You are not old enough to get a driver's license, and as a coach, I'm to try to get you to understand that for the good of the world, you may be a statue before your time. For those of you who don't know what that means, fallen heroes are memorialized as statues. To be a statue before your time is to die young. Now, how can you possibly be prepared for that by me drilling you in the pit? You can't. The seeds need to be planted, first thing. How many of you have seen pictures of some beta-level super chick stopping a jewel heist in her underwear? More in Europe than in the States, I bet, Olympian said with a grin. The other members of first team gave a small laugh. That's not funny, Connor said with a hard face. How does packaging yourself as a sex symbol serve the public? It serves one's own vanity. It serves the temple of self, and no good can come from it. If I were to ever see one of my alphas appear in public like that, I would lose my mind. You wouldn't live to regret it. As a superhero, you will always be watched. What you say, how you act, and what you wear will affect everyone that looks up to you. We talk a lot about qualities that a superhero has to have. Something we haven't talked about is what qualities we want non-superheroes to have. You will be the inspiration for billions. You will be the ones they look to. You, Connor said as he pointed at Olympian. One day, some child somewhere will base a decision, an important decision, on what he thinks of you. He or she will look up to you, or at least your image, and they will ask themselves, what would Olympian do if he were in my situation? Have you ever thought of that? Do you want him to see you as a cheater, a sneak, unfaithful, a coward, gutless? Connors watched Olympian squirm under his words. How about immoral and immodest? It's just a funny joke about Europeans in their underwear, remember? How will that be perceived by someone younger than you? Will it be taken out of context? Is it something you want to have to explain? Your image will be your true legacy. It will inspire people to be good long after you've hung up your costume. You must guard it jealously from all evil or appearance of evil. Back during the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union, there was something called a KGB sparrow. Does anyone know what that is? A female intelligence officer? She answered with uncertainty. Somewhat, Connors continued. She was a despicable class of female intelligence gatherer. A blackmailer. There's a lesson here, just wait for it. She, the sparrow, would be assigned a target, usually a man. This man would have access to something they wanted, or something he knew. The sparrow would then attempt to sleep with the man, either by charm, liquor, or drugs in their food. It didn't matter. It was the pictures of the affair they were after. This is kind of adult and I apologize, but the lesson is real. Now, someone would approach the man and tell him the pictures would go to his girlfriend, wife, kids, parents, employer, the government, his neighbors, whoever. The man would not want this to happen, and the man would do what they wanted to not have his life ruined. If that man had guarded his image at all times, that could not have happened. The lesson is this: act as superheroes should, at all times, and you will have no regrets. So, no underwear or racy costumes. Remember, you will be looked up to and emulated by children around the world. Olympian, who did you look up to as a child? Omni and my father, Olympian said without thought. See, you should be looking to your father first, and the person you never met second. But people look to the image of superheroes. Have any of you seen or met a member of the blue team yet? On the other side of campus? First team looked around at themselves. No, we haven't, Darkspeed said. They use the training facilities in the morning and do their academics in the evening. That way, you have very little contact with them. We designed that on purpose. We don't want you copying them. You're not superheroes yet, and neither are they. It's in your nature to look to someone older and copy them. I want you to find your own strength. Just like Hart, a strength that doesn't come from outside of you. If you copy someone else, what happens when the one you copy falls or changes? You must be your own strength. My mission, first and foremost, is your integrity. All the things we've talked about will add up to be your integrity. You must leave Alpha incorruptible, or I have failed in my most important task. I don't expect you to find all these answers and qualities quickly. Some lessons are hard and painful to learn. I hope you can learn these quick and painless, Sometimes you get lucky that way. But the day will come when each of you will know what it is to risk being a statue before your time for the sake of someone else. Now, on top of the heavy lecture, I have heavy news. Starting Monday morning, I will be getting you up for physical training at 0600. We will train for 1 hour, then you'll get cleaned up, fed, and in class by 0800. That means when I come in the door at 0600, you are dressed and ready to go. If you have to sleep in your grays, that's okay. You would be surprised how many superheroes sleep in costume. Can I ask a dumb question? Bioforce asked. The dumber the better, Connors replied. Why do superheroes wear costumes? Couldn't we just wear clothes? Tradition and recognition. What? Flash and color in a costume were a tradition that was handed down from long ago. But it became useful. How do you know a police, fireman, or paramedic by sight? By his uniform. But superheroes don't wear uniforms. They wear costumes. Are you sure? When you think black and gold armor, who is it? Omni, Olympian barked. Black leather and a beard. Kodiak, Olympian said. Red armor. Shogun. She beat Olympian to the answer. You see, they do wear uniforms. They could change their costume every week, but they don't. Superheroes are recognizable by what they wear, and the people of Japan have come to trust the red. That red armor shows up, and everyone stops panicking. They know Shogun is there. They know what he can do, and that he will put them before himself. The costume has become a useful tool. I think I get it, Bioforce answered. Do we get to design our own costumes? Yes, and I've been reviewing IQ's work. Looks like he'll be helping you make costumes. You've been reading his files? She asked. Had to make sure your time was going to good use. One more announcement. If any of you want to attend religious service at home this weekend, please raise your hand. Everyone on first team raised their hand. If I give you permission to go, you need to really attend something. Understood? Yes, coach, Darkspeed answered for the team. Virtuoso, are you up to teleporting people home for parts of the weekend? Yes, sir. Virtuoso was quick to volunteer. Okay, these are the rules. You need to make a schedule with Virtuoso. Be gone for no more than 6 hours, except for Virtuoso. She gets an extra hour due to the interruptions in her schedule. If you go off schedule for any reason, let me know immediately. Can I just fly home? Olympian asked. I know you can fly home, but no. Unless we have countermeasures going, you can be tracked back here. So teleporting in and out is better and untraceable. Any questions? First team looked around and didn't seem to have any, except Darkspeed. What about the matches we are supposed to have next week? How are we supposed to get ready for them? He asked. I don't expect you to be ready. I want to see how you behave without training. Look, I know more about fighting than anyone. I can teach you how to win, but I want you to win your first match on your own. I'll leave it to you, Darkspeed, to get the team ready and come up with the strategy. Once you have earned your first win, then I'll start teaching combat. Till then, Coach's class is your study hall to get academic work done. Darkspeed, you have anchor class tonight. Virtuoso, bring me a list tonight, and I'll try to have dorm reconstruction answers for you. All of you have a few minutes to start your homework. Otherwise, you're dismissed. Connors picked up his things and left the room. Darkspeed looked around at the other members of his team. I guess that leaves me in charge. Let's get some homework done before we go to specialties, he said.